Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're settling into a calm, documentary-style journey to explore a living piece of horticultural history, the Violette de Bordeaux. It's the classic French berry fig. Let's dive into this beautiful, dark-skinned, red-pulped fruit that has literally captivated growers for centuries. We're going to unpack exactly what makes this compact tree a master cultivar, and why it might just be the absolute perfect addition to your own garden space.
Here's how we'll break it down today. First, we'll look at it as a classic French fig. Then we'll dive into its clone identity crisis. After that, the anatomy of the fig itself, followed by cultivation in cooler climates. And finally, we'll answer the big question, should you grow it?
All right, part one, a classic French fig tracing its origins and history. So our story actually kicks off back in the 1700s, where this fig is first documented in France, deeply associated with both the Bordeaux and Provence regions. Fast forward a bit, and it crosses the Atlantic, entering American collections in the early 1900s. But it wasn't really until the 1980s that it was fully repopularized thanks to the efforts of UC Davis and some very dedicated California collectors. It's a plant that has truly stood the test of time, traveling across oceans and centuries.
Get this. Historical accounts actually suggest the Violette de Bordeaux was cultivated in the magnificent gardens of Versailles during the reign of Louis XIV. I mean, just imagine that. You could be growing the exact same fruit cultivated for the Sun King himself. It brings an incredible sense of royal heritage right to your backyard.
Moving on to part two, the clone identity crisis. It's a bit of a botanical mystery.
There's a great saying among growers, Violette de Bordeaux isn't just one fig. It's a whole family of nearly identical clones that were renamed as they spread across Europe. And honestly, that hits the nail on the head. Because it was so highly prized, it was shared, moved, and locally renamed countless times over the centuries. It's basically the ultimate botanical identity crisis, the same aristocratic plant adopting different aliases in every port. If you're a collector, you've probably stumbled across names like Vista, Beers Black, Negrone, Petite Nigra, or Nero 600M. Well, these make up the core Bordeaux group. But here's the catch. They aren't completely different plants. They are either the exact same clone or extremely close genetic sports. For years, this caused massive confusion for home gardeners who thought they were buying wildly different varieties, only to find the trees and the fruit looked entirely identical. Thankfully, science eventually caught up with history. Back in 2010, genetic testing finally stepped in and provided some clarity. It definitively proved that Beers Black, Vista, and Violette de Bordeaux shared the exact same genotype. Yep, they are the exact same plant. Modern horticulture finally solved the historical mysteries created by centuries of enthusiastic, hand-to-hand plant trading. Now, this genetic mapping leads us right to the second major branch of this family tree, the dwarf and ornamental relatives. Since the original tree is naturally pretty compact anyway, breeders have focused heavily on selecting even smaller versions. You've got Little Miss Figgy, which is a really widely marketed dwarf, Petite Negra, which is highly similar and often listed as a direct synonym. Then there's Little Ruby, a beautiful Bordeaux-style dwarf, and Fignominal, an ultra-compact modern dwarf that is just incredibly patio-friendly. Just to be totally clear, though, while some of these dwarf figs are confirmed selections of Violette de Bordeaux, others are just strongly suspected relatives. But practically speaking, they all behave like miniature Violette de Bordeaux types. They all share that signature dark skin, the red interior, and that unbelievable berry flavor, just packed into an even smaller, highly ornamental form. All right, part three, anatomy of the fig. Let's take a closer look at its growth and flavor profile. First up, a quick botanical check. Violette de Bordeaux is what we call bifide. That just means it's a common, self-fertile fig tree that absolutely does not need a specialized fig wasp for pollination. It actually gives you two harvests, an early breba crop that grows on last year's wood, and a later main crop that ripens mid-season on the new growth. That is two chances for fresh figs in a single season. Visually, this thing is an absolute stunner. The fruit size is small to medium, featuring a striking dark purple to nearly black skin that opens up to reveal a gorgeous, deep strawberry red interior. And the tree itself is equally magnificent. It's naturally compact, usually maxing out at just 6 to 10 feet when you plant it in the ground, and it stays even smaller in a container. With its dense, bushy branching and those attractive, deeply lobed leaves, it serves as a stunning ornamental centerpiece for patios and small yards. But let's be real, it's all about the flavor, the absolute obsession for fig enthusiasts. It boasts an elite profile known as the Bordeaux berry. It is incredibly rich, highly jammy, and sweet with these beautiful honey undertones. If you leave them on the tree until they are just slightly shriveled, wow, those sugars concentrate beautifully. It is widely considered a top-tier tasting experience in the entire fig world.
Part 4. Cultivation in cooler climates. This is where it proves it's a resilient choice. Here's a huge selling point. Violette de Bordeaux is quite possibly one of the absolute best dark figs for gardeners dealing with cool, wet, or coastal climates. It has excellent rain resistance and a very low rate of fruit splitting when those tricky autumn rains arrive. It practically thrives in Pacific Northwest conditions and handles the coastal British Columbia climate, places like Vancouver Island, extremely well. It consistently outperforms many other dark figs when faced with a cool summer.
As for hardiness, it is right at home in USDA zones 7 through 9. If you're in zone 6, it is certainly possible to grow, but you will definitely need to provide some winter protection. And for those of you in even colder provinces, this tree's naturally compact size makes it a perfect container plant. You can just roll it right into the garage for the winter. Or, alternatively, it can be grown in-ground as a dieback shrub, where it freezes to the ground but vigorously pushes new growth right from the roots every single spring.
Finally, Part 5. Should you grow it? Let's weigh the pros, cons, and comparisons. So, looking at the big picture, the pros are pretty hard to ignore. We're talking elite berry flavor, a beautifully compact tree size, reliable rain resistance, and perfect container adaptability. But it's only fair to mention the cons. The fruit is admittedly on the smaller side, and that mid-season ripening might push a bit late if you have an extremely short summer season. Plus, like most figs, it really does need some decent heat to unlock its absolute peak, full-flavor potential. To really put this into perspective, let's stack it up against another massive favorite that home growers are always considering, the Chicago Hardy. The choice here really comes down to your priorities. Chicago Hardy takes the prize for sheer survival. It is more cold hardy, highly vigorous, and incredibly reliable. But the berry sweet flavor is, well, a bit simpler. Violette de Bordeaux, on the other hand, wins hands down on elite, complex culinary quality and a tidy, compact size, trading away some of that extreme cold hardiness to give you that royal, jammy fruit. So, who is the ideal grower for the Violette de Bordeaux? Well, if you're a container or patio gardener, an urban farmer working with small spaces, or just a flavor-obsessed fruit collector, this is exactly what you were looking for. It's an absolute must-have for coastal and Pacific Northwest growers battling the rain, or honestly, anyone who wants a gorgeous, compact, highly ornamental tree that pays rent in delicious fruit. We've covered a lot of ground in this explainer today, tracking this single cultivar from the extravagant gardens of Versailles straight to modern urban patios. This living piece of history has survived centuries of renaming and traveling for one simple reason. It is a truly exceptional fig. So, I'll leave you with this. Are you ready for elite flavor in a compact tree? Think about whether your garden has a little room for a true classic. Thanks for joining me today, and happy growing!